single referee on an NBL1 game.
Well, thankfully, all is in readiness now as where Yak wins the tap. Back, walks the tightrope, gets it to Feegit. Finds ball back. Hines there. More responsibility coming his way. Is he up to it today? Well, that's a great start, and there's a sign to say, yes, sir, give me all the responsibility.
I've said it before, he's very close to... Oh, good finish.
Yeah, quick movement there. You've got to keep up with this one there. Slater at the rim.
Yeah, Will Hines, for those Knox fans watching, he's only spent the last about 3 weeks back in NBL1 after a few seasons away in the States, but this is a young man who is on his way to stardom at this level. He's a very, very good basketballer.
And that's a clever move there as well. Drew the crowd and then just put it above Yak's head. The only person who could have got that was Jack Newen, and he rewards the deed with 2. So it's a good start there from the Ballarat offense. Now moving through. White goes to the hoop, can't get there. Williamson toils hard underneath there. Campbell gets in the way, but they still keep a hold of the ball. From long range, Nunn misses that one. Williamson with another opportunity. Goes back to Nunn. Brody Nunn surveys the scene. Tries to find something there. Slater got it done at the hoop. A little bit of ducks and drakes being played there. Looked like he was going after the shot. Dumped it into Williamson, and the foul there inside the paint.
Yeah, there's no foul from Hines there. It would have been close to 3 seconds.
Yeah, just a slight malfunction in the junction there in terms of timing. And Williamson will go to the line. Kobe Williamson, of course, was part of the Jack Jumpers squad in the most recent NBL season. He spent 5 years at Seattle University, where when he wrapped things up there, was the all-time leader of blocks and games played there at the alma mater. So, second year now in the Knox setup since returning from the States.
He's a very, very talented Knox lineup. Former Defensive Player of the Year, and a man who is formerly of this parish. Big Degakuth is on the bench as well. Sporting some magnificent dreads, it has to be said.
Feegit engages with Back. Back trying to work his way past Nunn, then he pops up in front of him. That's a classy execution of that move. Again, much like Hines, more responsibility coming Back's way. JP mentioned he did start towards the beginning of the season. Going in at the hoop is White. That one doesn't find its intended target. Feegit pacing the ball. Needs to wait for the cavalry now. He thought about and flirted with the idea of putting it up. He doesn't. And now Hines turns on a dime, and that one defied gravity and popped in and then popped out. Slater. Again, he moves quickly. Yak gets in the way, but he chops the arm, and to the line will go Brandon Slater. So Brandon Slater will go to the line to shoot 2. It's his first year at Knox. He's coming off a G League championship with the Greensboro Swarm, and well, there's a bit of it that his hometown must be a little bit disappointed. He's a forward, but he's from Centerville.
Well, perhaps he just hasn't grown enough and they've exiled him.
It's one of the few people not to have grown as an American, but he misses the first one there, Slater.
We only produce 6'10" athletes in Centerville. You're 6'6", 6'7"? No, not good enough for us.
There was the early break. Yak knew he did it straight away, but sort of watched that free throw and knowing his fate was sealed. So Slater will get another shot at it there. And he makes amends there. Miners with the slenderest of leads so far. Early doors in this one.
There's a good trap from Knox.
Yeah. Back, though, is waiting in the corner, and that's the problem. If you can get through the trap, you're going to have the free player waiting, and Back makes them pay.
Almost ghosted down to the corner then. Nobody really paid too much attention.
Williamson underneath the hoop there, using his size and his height there to receive the assist from Brody Nunn.
Now, that is going to be an issue for Ballarat, that outside of Yak Yuan, there's not a lot of size in the up and down this Miners roster.
Williamson almost ripped it away there with support. The Ballarat side are able to keep the possession. Campbell shot 25 in the first half last night, And there is 2 to get him going here this afternoon.
He's smooth.
Racing straight in at the hoop there, just sort of put the controller to the left of your screen, hit the turbo button, forced the shot up there, does the skipper in Dufelmeyer.
Yeah, Tad Dufelmeyer Jr., he's a man who angles don't mean a thing to him. He'll throw it up there and he'll find a way. He's such a creative basketballer.
A man who does not respect a protractor. Hines taking the lead here. Feigert with the captain's armband. Has a trouble, has a problem. Goes back to Hines. Almost knocked away by Slater. Back, he's going to have to take on the big man. And that one, well, just was going to be tough to make it from that position.
Yeah, Back was in amongst the trees there. It's that height that Knox have all over the floor.
White with an open look.
There we see Back's ability to get up as well.
Yeah. It's a lot of tools in the arsenal of ball back, as Feigert misses one from the corner as well. Dufelmeyer over to Williamson, back to the skipper. He thought about it, now penetrates the paint. Yaxes not so fast and sends that back.
Had the arm at right angles and was still able to block that one.
Slater was almost forgotten there at the foul line, and he makes it count. Scores level here. Campbell. He just goes straight through the middle of the paint, misses that. Yak reaches in despair, comes up with nothing.
It's a good effort from Williamson just to keep the ball alive.
White off the contact. Yeah, strong stuff there from Trezarian White. Ability to be able to bounce off that and keep your balance, as Hines now takes on Williamson and keeps it out of the reach of the big man.
Ballarat going toe for toe with their more fancied opposition early, Eric.
Yes, it's a fast start here, 13 apiece, ticking over just the halfway mark of the first quarter. Again, Slater with that little shot fake. It's a couple of times we've seen that from him, so the Miners will have to be aware of that, knowing that Williamson is set up in the camp there ready to go. And Slater, well, he's a little bit sneaky.
But it's a good play. You've got Williamson, who's a good 6'6", 6'7", and not exactly a lanky player either. He's got some heft to him. And as much as Back can guard up, he's strong, he's athletic, and he's very disciplined on defense. He's still 6'1".
Yeah.
On a good day. So, you know, he's just, you get such a deep position. There's not a whole lot that Back can really do.
Williamson makes them both there. We get some substitutions there. And it's going to be Slater that takes a breather here. Replacing him will be Henry Sewell. Of course, the youngster committed to the Portland Pilots. And again, there's a lot of size on this Knox lineup for Ballarat to have to contend with, both defensively and now as they try and draw something up offensively. Campbell has got White for company. Engages with Hines. He wanted to put that up. Dufelmeyer said no. And that goes up. Lovely connection and synergy. Hines to Yak. Slams it down.
Yeah, fantastic pass from Hines.
Just put it in a flight path. Nunn, though, has time and space. Over eggs the pudding. Misses that. And Hines grapples hard. Gets there to the ball. Which way is the possession arrow going to point its allegiance? To Knox on this occasion.
A little bit of back and forth between Hines and Dufelmeyer, two gentlemen who don't mind a little bit of communique on the court.
Certainly ones that do not take a backward step. Very competitive. We like that. The competitive fires here in the Mitsubishi Motors NBL1 South. Nunn almost had a sliver of space. Gets it to White. Sewell draws in the fake, uses the length and ends up just passing it through. Back does well because I think that came off Feigert last. Keeps it alive for the Miners.
Yeah, it was good defense from Back against Sewell. Just kept him off balance.
Campbell for three. No, not yet. Nunn to Williamson. And what's going on off the ball is going to be against Kobe Williamson. Campbell stood his ground.
Yeah, I think Campbell sold that reasonably well. There was contact, but yeah, Campbell perhaps accentuated things a little bit there, but sometimes you do what you have to do to get the call.
Back and Figure take a break. Lucas Byrne and Brooklyn Bruton onto the court for Ballarat. As Campbell is going to run out of tarmac there. That is good pressure defense there from Trezarian White, not allowing any room to move.
Now, a lot falls onto Bruton today as well with Dent's injury. Will Hines has stepped into Bruton's, or the role that Bruton had at the start of the season, but now with Dent out, Hines effectively taking that role. Bruton has to step back into that bench microwave role that he had. Oh, lovely hit from Sewell.
Sewell, the big man's got some range on him there.
Just
Sniper
over the
hunting.
Just over the fingertips of Big Yak as well.
Well, it almost has to be him to get over those fingertips. Byrne, he's got a look, and he's got 3. Trading buckets here. Scores remain level. And no, not again. Still can't repeat the dose. But a lesson to be learned there, perhaps, even in victory. And is that going to be a foul against Dufelmeyer? He can't hardly believe it.
Yeah, and
it's a clear signal.
That was a foul, but at the same time, Hines absolutely knew what he was doing there. Just hit the brakes and moved into Dufelmeyer's path.
The old brake check there, trying to get his car comped by insurance.
Oh, well done by Byrne.
Oh, that one goes wanting from Campbell. Strong there by White. Bruton gets right up in his grill. White good enough to get through it. None. Dufelmeyer. Sewell. They're just lurking around the arc. They're like sharks around a boat. And White pushes hard.
Oh, he gave Bruton the too small then.
Oh, jeez. There's a bit of spice in this one early here.
And look, he's not wrong. I mean, that's a power forward at this level who's going against a sub 6 foot guard, but still, it's a good call to making a 3-point game.
Yeah, well, look, he's correct in measurements, which is one of the best kinds of correct there. And, you know, sometimes you just got to spit facts. But I know that Bruton is a competitive beast. He'll probably take the intended insult with that as well. As he tries to get past Nunn, he engages with Byrne. Byrne steps through the traffic there. That is tough stuff indeed there, JP.
Love a little in-out dribble to open up the space as well.
And Nurley was still there, yep. Byrne just coming across the attacker there. And that has Ballarat in the bonus as well, so...
Yep.
So Dufelmeyer will head to the line on this one. Of course, Tad Dufelmeyer, he is, of course, the son of his dad, Senior, who was an import. He played for the Canberra Cannons.
And a very, very good basketballer too. And I mentioned Dufelmeyer and Hines getting into it before. If there was one person who would be happy to see players getting stuck into it verbally, it would be Tad Dufelmeyer Senior. The man was never, ever, ever short of a word on a basketball court.
Again, probably without the underlying tone, but he was a competitor. That's usually sports commentator code for not a good guy, but definitely not the case there. It's at the ankles there of Byrne. He does well to pick it up, but Sewell stops him there.
Yeah, too tall.
Yeah, especially when he had to go from the ankles to the penthouse there. That was going to struggle. Dufelmeyer takes a couple of steps inside the paint, goes one way, goes the other, leaves them all bamboozled. Margin extends to 4 points as Bruton now puts on the afterburners. It's a lot of velocity on that one. Burns has to reach up to reel it in. Gauges with Nicholson and now to Campbell. Campbell likes the matchup against Nunn. Draws a crowd. Out to Bruton for 3. And cleaning up the mess there off the missed shot is Lucas Byrne.
Byrne's finding his footing at NBL1. Every week he's getting better, and the last couple of weeks he's looked right at home as a rotation piece. I'm not sure if he's even turned 17 yet, but I'll call him a 17-year-old.
Dufelmeyer misses that one. And who's that come off last? It's come off Bruton.
Yeah, good effort, but yeah, clearly off Brooklyn Bruton.
Brandon Slater will rejoin. He'll interchange with fellow big, and he'll now get to play centre. Oh, and no Sills there, so maybe not. Who knows? There's too many bigs here in the Knox lineup to keep up with. They are wearing the Heritage Retro Round jerseys as well, which are a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah, great looking uniform.
White attacks the hoop, can't withstand the Ballarat defence and get the two.
Strong work on the boards by Nicholson.
And there is Will Hines.
Oh.
That one, there must have been a gust of wind because that looked like it was going in, then it blew the other way.
If we can cite the legend John Casey, it did a lap of honour.
It certainly did. Not too many better at describing the great game than Case. Still does some great work at NBL1 level and called a few WNBL games as well this season. We love John Casey. None. Slater for three. That one is left wanting. And Campbell dribbles it into the path of Hines. And Nicholson for three.
Oh,
Burn
Lucas
trailing
Burn.
in. Comes in and cleans it up there. Dufelmeyer tries to go with pace. Misses it.
It'll be a Knox ball.
Knox will maintain possession with 1.7 on the clock. Coach Nunn allowing them to figure this out rather than try and draw anything up.
Oh, they'll have a play in their back pocket for this. There we
And
go.
there it is. White blocked away
Campbell
by
gets
Campbell. Was that in time? No, it's waved away there. Sewell believes he beat the clock. The referees do not. And they know a thing or two about beating the clock. They just got here in time today. But they don't get the two there on that occasion. Great work from Jaden Campbell to block that one away. This one, it's 24 apiece as we're about to get underway in the second quarter here in the Mitsubishi Motors NBL1 South. Eric McFarlane alongside me, Jared Prosser. Thank you for tuning in wherever you have joined us here on a Sunday afternoon. Great to have NBL1 basketball going deep into a Sunday afternoon. I know that we've got the long weekend in the South Conference for the most part. Next weekend as well, so good to see the basketball action going deep into this weekend. Bit of a recalculation as the clock was a little bit delayed coming out of its quarter time break. Things are reset, and here we go.
Take two.
Campbell over to Hines. Nicholson now finds Hines back in the middle there. We've got three Raiders claiming in on him. There's Byrne. Ooh, he almost got up to double digits with that one. Falling away, fraught with danger.
Oh.
Now hitting the rim, even fraughter with danger as that one misses, but the goaltend's going to be called there. Definitely a tap on the net there. So there we go. Lucas Byrne, right place, right time.
Comedy of errors from both sides to a degree there, but
and now they're trying to make the argument that it was actually a Ballarat player that touched the net, but the referees will not take that feedback on board, or at least they won't implement it. As the first points on the board in this quarter go Ballarat's way. White to Slater. There's none. Tries to find a way, and there it is. It's Williamson. He decides to bring himself into the paint. Uses the right-handed finish. Misses Slater with a putback. Unsuccessful.
strong work again from Nicholson. He's going to have to really box out hard, being undersized against some of these Knox frontline players.
Byrne getting a lot of opportunities at the moment. Dufelmeyer with a quick response. Yes, sir.
A little shake of the head from Dufelmeyer towards Hines as well. That matchup is getting a little bit chippy, and I'm kind of liking it.
Well, here's a chance to see it unfold some more, although Lucas Byrne puts a body in the way. There's a switch. Slater v. Hines. Slater wins that battle. Byrne, though, with a rebound. Bruton, time to set his feet, make a cup of coffee, and he gets the three.
That's a great look from Lucas Byrne. Strong work on the boards and to open up the space with a quick rip through, but the pass was excellent.
Byrne is having a banner game so far. 9 points. Influential here for Ballarat. Nunn thinks he's the option there on that occasion. Not so much. Campbell hasn't had to get firing yet. Bruton in motion, in movement, in despair after missing.
He had more time than he, whether he knew it or not, he had more time than he took.
White Likes the size matchup, misses, is going through hands, and well done by Campbell again. Getting in the right place defensively there to turn the ball over the Ballarat way, and then going through the middle, burn. It's the only thing he's done wrong so far. He can't believe it.
Look, I don't mind the fact that he looked to get up and throw it down. You want to go hard with power, but he just couldn't get the elevation.
None thought about it. Gets it into Slater, and that was clever work there from Brandon Slater. You know his elite experience there, being a member of that G League makeup, and the way he was able to time and wrong foot the defense to cause the foul and the contact, sees Brandon go to the charity strike.
And on that play there, we saw Brooklyn Bruton coming from behind Slater on the post move to try and swipe it away. I'd much rather see guards go in and try and wrap it up there for a jump ball. You don't, it's effectively a 50-50 whether it's a steal or not, depending on which way our best friend the arrow is pointing. But when you swipe down, you give the opportunity for a ref to call it. When you get a hold of that basketball, most of the time you're getting a jump ball out of that.
Slater misses the shot, but is able to win it back. That opens it up for Williamson on the 45, and he's going to make him pay.
He's just no fuss, isn't he, Kobe Williamson? Just, no matter what he does, he just shuffles off. Happy that a job's done. He doesn't say a lot, doesn't show a lot.
Seems to live a happy, mindful life. You've got to give his Instagram a follow to see his dog, Django, who runs around with the GoPro on as well. So you can see why he's a happy man. And he won't be happy, though, that Brooklyn Bruton was able to breeze past there and beat the defense.
That's a great finish.
And then going up there, and clever work there. Trezarian not so far away from the center of the heavens with his leap. And he gets the basket and works through the contact for an opportunity to make it 3.
The body control as he took the contact there was first class. Because Fegut's not a small lad. And, just took Fegut's chest to his arm and just finished through it. That was strong.
White makes it a 3-point play there.
And that is the lead.
And there we see, we've got the vantage point of Yak Nguyen about to come on there. Back misses an open look. And now Knox are trying to press the advantage. White again attacks the hoop. And it's the same result, except he doesn't get the shot to drop.
Yeah, that's a good transition.
And see why Nguyen's coming on now. There's a little bit of... there's too much pedestrian crossing through the paint there for Coach Borner's liking.
And Riley Nicholson did a really good job out there. He's effectively a 4 at this level, having to play as a 5 since Carius Warren was let go. But he's not a, and I don't mean any disrespect here, but he can't jump over a folded piece of paper. What he is strong and really physical, and he is putting his body out there against these bigger, more athletic players just to hold his ground, create rebounds for himself and his teammates. He's done a good job of it so far.
Great IQ from White to try to exploit that, though, and that has the lead push out to 5 here the Knox way. Bruton. There's Jack. Good to see him on the court. Was pulled from the game early last weekend. Played the majority of the game yesterday. Bruton again looks to go to the paint. Might have been a Falcon in there somewhere. Dufelmeyer backwards to go forward. Gets it into Williamson. He's got 3-2-0 for company. They all decided to push away from him, but as it works out, the Knox players can't keep the control of the ball inside the parameters of the court.
Lucas Byrne did well down there against Williamson. Again, oversized, but stuck to his task well.
There's the corner. There is Byrne, and there is a shot he would want to make. Williamson versus Bruton. And Bruton was getting well to get that hand in his face.
He almost needs a stepladder to get the hand in his face, to be honest. There's a fair size difference there.
You can. I'm not going anywhere near the height of stuff. I would be in a glass house, my friend. But Slater uses the left to jam that one down. He swarms the hoop and sends them packing.
Capital P power dunk.
Oh, that has the makings of some Red Bull energy moment on that one. What a dunk from Brandon Slater. Now it's up to the Miners to recover Another open look goes begging, but Yak, right place, right time, puts it back.
Yak Nguyen, he's so raw, but he's coming along in leaps and bounds with the extra responsibility of being the one genuine big on the roster.
White to Williamson. Duffelmeyer. Gives it out to Neal. And Neal's going to, well, needed to take a step inboard there. Didn't quite get the calculations correct. Back was calling for Bruton, and by the time he picked up the dribble, Bruton was still sort of coming over that half-court line. Had to find a different direction. And there's Bruton now. He's going to put up a speculator. That hits the rim. And Duffelmeyer, pace on the ball. It could be showtime again. And a business decision was made not to have the dunk, but probably to the dismay of Ethan Feigert, he still does allow the basket to drop.
Yeah, it's if you're going to foul, you need to make sure that there's no chance of that ball going in. There's a difference between a hard foul and a unsportsmanlike, and Feigert sort of tried to toe the line a little there and ended up not quite doing enough of either.
White makes good at the line. And now the game clock. Again, there's some issues going on here. There is a bit of a delay going on with the game clock at times here, so it just halts play for a moment. Here's Campbell, steps into his shot.
Oh, that's way left. Yep.
Yeah, Nunn did really well there. Oh. And Slater just slips through his fingers there.
He was looking for an outlet pass while he was still coming down, just spent it before he got it.
8 points the margin. Off the inbound for three. Oh. Will Hines puts up the goggles.
Big bucket, cuts it back to 2.
Slater. Feigert for company. He pulls it up in front of him. Misses. Some pace on the ball. Too much pace, as it were. Back had to go collect it. And Hines sees another opportunity. He is like putty through the air. He just molds himself to his will.
That's a tremendous finish.
A bit of a lapse there. Duffelmeyer doesn't take what was on offer there. There's another lapse there. Nunn takes the chance, doesn't get there, but a little bit of an easy O-board there, it has to be said, for Sewell. And he makes no mistake.
Yeah, lack of a box out. Matt Nunn, as that shot missed, just put his hands to his head. He knew that was wide open.
Speaking of wide open, Ethan Feigert misses. Nunn. And now White wants to work up the baseline there and take on Campbell. That one teased everyone but didn't go into the hoop. And Campbell with a foul against him.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate one for White. He did everything right, and the ball just teased us all there. Didn't want to drop in the end.
White is rocketed up to 13 points. He's the man from Mansfield, Texas, and we know parts of Texas will be happy today with the NBA results as the Spurs advance to the NBA Finals. As White tries to advance the cause here of the Knox Raiders, misses the first.
The parts that aren't happy would be Houston and Dallas, I'm assuming.
Yes, it'd be a very interesting reaction to see whether or not they were happy for their fellow statesmen. But let's not go into the minutiae of civil discourse in America as we move on from that.
That's a broad topic right there.
Deliberately broad. Hines. Well, he deliberately gets it into Campbell there. He is fouled. He'll go to the hoop. So the foul line now.
Now, it was reasonably obvious about 2 or 3 seconds before that pass was made what Hines and Campbell were looking for. It took a while to get to the setup, but they eventually did get there. And Knox were ready, but it's a testament to the execution that they were able to get that pass through.
Hines and Campbell, we'll see more of them now due to the injury of Dent, the tin food connection. Campbell makes it.
Took me a second, but that's a great call.
4 points the margin here. Ballarat taking it to Knox. They'll have some belief out of their victory yesterday, and that was strong by Yak.
Yeah, that was a great rebound.
Timed it perfectly. Campbell tries to make his way through, loses the handle. Nunn with a nice tap to his own advantage. Around the back, White wanted it for a jam. He just gets a more ferocious pass, and we'll have to result with just the two in a more fundamental manner.
It was a smart play from Nunn to tap it ahead.
And good defensive harassment there by the Knox Raiders. Cause Hines to step out of bounds with the ball. And an offensive foul called. And it's going to be against Williamson.
Yeah, never really set. It's one of those ones I'd be keen to see it back to see whether the ball carrier moved early or whether the screen was just not set properly. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of the screen just not quite being set properly.
Fegat, the captain today, maybe for a period of time due to the injury to Lockie Den. Campbell. Hines for three. That one misses. Again, another teaser around the hoop. Inside the final 2 minutes of the half. Nunn to Williamson. White, who leads all comers with 16. Back out to his skipper. And Nunn with a dagger.
And the hands in the air. He hasn't had a good shooting half as Brody Nunn, but hands to the heavens as he finally sees one drop through.
That was just the gesturing of a relieved man. That one has gone through. Out to 9 now. Back will want to reel that one in, and he does indeed with a quality finish. Not much more that could have been done with the defensive contest there, but it's 6 points the margin now. Dufelmeyer, Sewell. Nunn again wants to get into the paint and then find what's looking out for him. Williamson wanted to put it up, but it was good closeout D. Sewell draws in Nguyen there, and Yak, he sort of looks down going, what else could have I done there?
Once you're in the air, you're at the mercy of the player with the ball and of the official. But at the same time, what is a 7-foot man's job if not to jump and try and block some shots?
Ball back in front of us, getting some instruction there from assistant coach Patterson. First one is good for Sewell. A 6-7 percentage proposition from the charity stripe. And who's that come off last? It has come off the back there and through the hands of Dewam. Wearing the 41, not the 7 that's in the program. We'll talk to the program makers a little bit later about that. They do a great job. Oh, Yak.
He wasn't ready for that pass.
Yak was still on Saturday there at the moment. He was in another time zone. Manages to reel it in just. Fegat in motion. Oh, that one just fell agonisingly short. Couple of seconds between shot and game clock. Looks like Knox will want to drain as much time out of this one to not give Ballarat a good look at building some momentum. So Dufelmeyer not in a hurry at all.
Ballarat in the bonus though, they can't foul.
And Dufelmeyer, nice little outlet pass, and as you said, they couldn't foul, but even worse when you talk about the bigs of the Knox Raiders, that is the third personal foul for Yak Nguyen just on the stroke of half-time. Not what the Miners would have wanted to see.
A little bit unfortunate there for Yak as well. I think he actually timed his jump well if Sewell had caught the ball first time, but big Hank Sewell, he just bobbled that ball and it threw out the rhythm of the play to a degree, and Yak was in the air early. We're going to get Borna calling for perhaps a travel on that bobble pass as well, but that was I mean, speculating.
There is an argument there, you know, if there is a bobble there that the feet might start to do some work you weren't anticipating, but it is an Amy timeout here with just over 6 seconds left in the half, a 7-point lead held by Knox. When we come back from the Amy timeout, we will see Sewell at the line with some free throws here. But it's been a pretty professional performance in this quarter here from the Raiders.
Yeah, they're doing what they need to do. It's almost similar to the the women's game that we saw earlier, where Knox have just eased it out to 3-4 basket margins, and they're just doing enough to hold Ballarat at bay. The one thing though is that if Ballarat can get hot from three, we say it every week that Ballarat shoot generally about 50% of their shots from beyond the arc. At the moment, 21 shots inside, 22 outside, but just 5 of 22 from beyond the arc at the moment.
I think it's fair to say as well they've had some good looks, so
yeah,
there's definitely some room for improvement there. So not all doom and gloom, as it were, as they get final instructions there for the final part.
Yeah, Hines has had a couple drop in and out. Figured has been ice cold.
Sewell at the line there. The first one is good. Of course, he won an Asian Championship gold representing Australia in Qatar in 2023. Spoke about what his future lies ahead there through the college system as well. He goes 2 of 2. Here we go. What are they drawing up there to take them into half-time? Get the ball in Will Hines' hands. That's a pretty good play, but it was well read there, and Dewam fouls at the last minute.
May have been Dufelmeyer. I have a feeling it was Dufelmeyer first.
Well spotted there. A whack to the bonce, says the referee. And that's why Dewam was turning around saying, what, I didn't do anything wrong? And the referees rightfully say, you're absolutely correct,
he's correct to say so.
He didn't do anything wrong. He did not, and it's unfortunately not your foul, my friend. But although they wouldn't have got the basket as such, an opportunity here for Will Hines to take the 2 free throws, at least to get a little bit of momentum and bring that margin in ever so slightly. They will have a conversation, I think that's been had now, about the 0.3 that will be left after these attempts. So probably not too much time to do anything, barring something divine.
No, it'll be a catch and a hurl, basically.
Hines makes the first. 22 points last night. Again, stepping up in the absence of the skipper. And he goes 2 of 2 there, Hines, bringing it up to 11 so far in this game. There we go, catch, hoof. No, it's not in time, although the speculator's ball back was watching it there. So it is a 7-point margin here.
So you can suddenly try and stretch the game out, make it a bit more of a game of variance. And in a game of variance, that generally suits the underdog.
Knox get us underway here in the third quarter. Sitting in 4th place there, as Jared mentioned. There's a whistle off the ball here, and it's going to go against Campbell for a hold there. So Knox, it's an important game for them as well, because after this they'll have a little bit of time off, about 2 weeks. I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, there is a long weekend next weekend throughout Victoria, so not the full complement of games taking place, although Ballarat will be in action on the game of the week on Friday night at Keilor, so keep your eyes tuned for all the latest on that. As White, little speculative effort. Williamson fights hard underneath against Fegert, and it's going to be a foul against Ethan Fegert on that one. As he was trying to wrestle the ball away, he also wrestled the Knox player. That's 3 now for Ethan Fegert, so another. Well, you spoke about if Yak was out, then Ethan would have to step up. He now is in the same predicament as White. Had to reach behind him there to get that. Doesn't come away with the basket or the highlight reel play that they might have been hoping for. Campbell, a little bit quieter by his standards on the offensive end. Almost falls over, does fall over. And Hines is there to clean it up, but doesn't clean it up successfully. Left a little bit of mess behind. And there's a pass to Slater, who just waltzes through the transition defense.
That was almost a 3-man weave warm-up drill for the Raiders there.
Campbell now takes on Williamson, and Williamson says, you can take me on, but you're not going to win on this occasion.
Yeah, stayed tall, stayed vertical. Good defense.
Fegert off the inbound, picks up his dribble, finds Hines, and that sends him all the way straight up the middle. It's Hines time here, joining the Mile Hines Club.
Will Hines. My word.
Slater into Williamson.
Ooh, Yak was very close to a cheap 4th there.
Well,
and there it is anyway.
So close that he decided to go ahead and proceed with it there. He wanted to make a Nostradamus of you after all there, JP.
that foul and the little reach beforehand, they're just ill-disciplined plays. They're not the sort of things that you want your 7-footer doing in the regular course of events, let alone when he's the only centre and he's on 3 fouls. They're just ill-disciplined things, silly things to do.
None from long range, hits 3. I think with the thing with Yak as well, you know, he's such a raw talent, not much known about him before coming into the league here. So you feel as though some of the minutes, as much as it is in this league, are going to be instructional as well. So you hope to see those things improve as the year and the season progresses for him.
Yeah, they will. They will. There's so much more he's got to him as Nicholson hits the pick and pop 3. But it's those little things that if you can take those little errors out of his game, he's going to be an elite rim protector. I don't think he'll ever be like a 15 to 20 point scorer, but he can be a 12 rebound 3 block guy for a long time if he just tidies up some little things on defense.
Strong accounting of himself there defensively was Riley Nicholson. Manages to force the ball off the Knox Raiders. 7 points the margin. Again, almost like a similar tale of the first game. Nicholson gets another opportunity. Puts too much mustard on that hot dog and it hits the back of the rim and out. White gets the moving protection there from Williamson. Slater, he's got some tricks and wile about him as White just takes his time there, waits for the defense to make a decision, and it was an incorrect one as he saw himself through.
There's good patience.
He's hitting the deck hard there is Will Hines with a lot of work to do for his side. And that's a third personal there on Kobe Williamson. Hines, Campbell, move, the extra pass back on the outside, and that's the tonic that Ballarat needed in this second half.
Just rattled home. It looked for a moment like it was one of those ones that'll go halfway down and come out, but ball decided to play nice.
Duffelmeyer gets nothing but nothing on that one. Back. Oh, no, look. Beautiful decision into the running lane there of Riley Nicholson, who brings the lead back down to 4 as the Amy timeout is called by Coach Nunn.
Yeah, it's a good timeout from Matt Nunn. Ballarat to start and get a little bit of rhythm to their game, a little bit of flair. And you don't want to let this side in front of a home crowd just start to get a little bit of belief, especially after the win last night. We mentioned at the outset that Ballarat broke their 10-game losing streak yesterday evening. And as much as you would expect Knox to have enough about them here, at this level of the game, you cannot give a sucker an even break. You don't want to let Ballarat get a roll on. So I think that's good coaching to call this thing together and just break the flow of play.
It's a 4-point margin here, a bit of a deflate the balloon timeout there for sure. I'm just curious as to your thoughts there in terms of offensively. What does Yak not being on the court do now for Ballarat? Because they've looked a little bit more mobile.
Well, that's exactly it. They are more mobile. We've seen Riley Nicholson drain 1-3, take another one from the top of the key in practically the same spot. But that is what this lineup will do. You're not going to get Nicholson, setting the pick and then rolling to the hoop and trying to finish through bodies. He's going to pick and pop. But the other side to that is if he makes a few, and he's already made one, it potentially opens up the key. And we saw Will Hines gliding for a dunk. No backline help because you're having to guard everyone on the perimeter.
Sewell now onto the court there, gets it ripped away from him. And now the opportunity, Campbell stops, pops on a dime. Big time 3 there.
And that's the other thing that can happen. You get 5 fleet foot players on the floor. Your transition offense suddenly improves exponentially.
Almost challenges Knox to play a different style, but they're pretty well comfortable in what they've done so far this year. Still a bit of work to do here for the former national champions a few years back. Slater for 3. Misses that one there, and Nunn rips it away. He just wanted the spalding. He gets it back, and White goes to the hoop there.
And what Nunn did there is a version of what I was talking about in the first half, where go for the jump ball, not the steal.
Campbell made the other one, doesn't make this one. Maybe not quite the right choice that time. Rapid fire pass, it goes back. Nunn. He really set a lot of this up there. And he set that up for Campbell. He has the runway cleared and goes up the middle. Take off, Jaden Campbell, Air Canada.
Yeah, as soon as that pass wasn't even halfway through to Slater, when Matt just hung his head, he knew that he'd sent a pick 6 off the other way there.
And now White, he replies in kind! This has now turned into a slam dunk contest.
Oh, that's a tough finish from Hines.
Hines says, oh, we can put a little bit of finesse on this bow as well here, guys. Lovely work from Will. White, he's just constantly looking at the rim. How can I get there? How can I get from A to B in the shortest and most vertical way possible? He also has some game from outside the arc, but it doesn't show it on that occasion. It's a 1-point margin here. Ballarat have done so well to bring it back. A chance to potentially take the lead here. Rests in Campbell's hands for the moment. Over the Nicholson. Gets the fake. Draws Dufelmeyer in. And now Hines for 3. That one bobbles out. The half-pipe finish. Skated in and skated out. Pressure now. They rest back now to get themselves set more defensively. None gives the thumbs up, although things aren't exactly A-OK right now for Knox. Slater spins one way, spins the other, leaves that one wanting. Byrne rises up and takes the rebound.
That was a nice move, but just couldn't finish.
Campbell, step back for 3. Misses that one. None with the rebound. White sees the match with Campbell. He likes that. Puts an extra little afterburner on there to get past.
It's not just that he can jump. He's so fast in a straight line, is White.
Nicholson to level the scores. There it is. We're back to where we started. Even Steven.
That's another example of that 5 out. Hines gets into the key. Defense collapses. Your big men naturally want to collapse, and his opponent's sitting wide open at the top of the key.
Good help there from Sewell that opens it up for Dufelmeyer. And then Sewell goes up to clean up the rebound. A free throw that's worth 2 that time for Slater.
Can't teach tall. Sewell too big.
Hines with pace. Tries to go under the big. Sewell with great defensive positioning and know-how. Back. Bounces off and... oh, he is happy with that one.
Yeah, he wanted the... he was telling the ref he got hit in the arm there too.
So I'm not reading the body language correct. He's not happy with that one.
He's hitting his elbow, unless that's some sort of figure that, or some gesture that we're not quite across.
There's always a chance with us too. None! Oh. Well, he steps into that one and rips the lead back. 70 to 6-7 here at the Selkirk Stadium. And that's stolen away. Dufelmeyer, none. Change of direction. That is a classy finish falling away from the hoop.
He's looking for the contact, but did well to finish it.
Captain steps up in a couple of big moments to push the lead back out to 5 after it was on parity. Hines, a little too far out to score. Dribbles towards the hoop. Campbell, back, catch, shoot, short.
Another basket here for Knox. Just see them reassert a little bit of control in this game.
Well, they won't get a chance there because Slater has pushed. Couldn't quite see who it was. We've got
yeah, Hines. He picked him off illegally.
We've got a herd of referees in front of us there, making sure they've got the best view of the game. Slater will take a breather there. Only his first personal, so just maybe a bit of a rest and some instruction going on with Coach Nunn right now on the sidelines. Inside the last 2 minutes of this highly contested third quarter. Back, another opportunity from a similar spot, and it's a very similar result. It hits the front of the rim and falls away of Knox.
Body was leaning backwards on that one. It was always going to be short.
Dufelmeyer, what's the call going to be? And it's a charging foul. And you just got the inkling there that that may have been the call when the forearm went out there and did extend. And I think that's what the referee was calling that one on. I
love the fact that the official gave us a bit of a pregnant pause there as well. Just a little bit of theatre from the ref.
Well, we are on the NBL1 app, which is where you stream all your live and free games. And also during the week, some great stories, all the stats, facts and figures. So NBL1 apps, it's not just for the weekends. Hines being worn like a glove, but he able to get the glove off, gets it to back, this time from the corner, and this is the different result. That might be the angle he wants to be shooting from.
That is bowl back spot, that left corner three. He's so good from that area.
White, through hands to Sewell, now Nunn. And Nunn, oh, that's another one there that, oh, you usually back him more times than not there, Brody Nunn. But again, when you're a 1-in-3 proposition, sometimes those two have to come from somewhere. Bruton into the action. Ooh, looked like he was going to put that up. Good decision to go back to Hines. And now it opens up and he's kicked it away. It manages to get out to Nicholson, who...
He didn't need to shoot that, Riley Nicholson.
No.
There was still 9 on the shot clock.
Maybe a bit of a panicked reaction. Thought that maybe the whistle was going to come because it came off the boot. White with the Williamson screen. Pushes in against Byrne, yeah. And he's gone again with the too small. He's very aware of the height of his opposition today. 10 seconds underneath that now. What can Ballarat take into this? Looks like Bruton wants to be the guy who puts it up, and Williamson knew that, and that comes our way. And my arms are too short. Kobe Williamson's arms are definitely long enough there, as he says to Bruton. You're not going to get that one through me, little man.
He looked down at him, but Williamson...
A tense one. There's been a bit of feeling, a bit of taunting. Who's going to have the last laugh? Let's find out now in the next 10 minutes of basketball at Selkirk Stadium.
Knox have come out in the 2-3 zone here.
Oh, Nicholson sort of looked away from the ball there. And now that leaves back on the 45. Ignored the extra pass from Bruton. That one misses. Can Nunn keep it in play? He cannot. So a lucky break there for Ballarat there. And even there you can see Bruton having the chat with back saying, hey, though, I had that extra pass.
Yeah, he was there. He was there. Having said that, the defender took a pretty good angle to close both shot and pass equally. I think Back was well within his rights to take that one.
Back into Bruton. And ball lifts it up at the top of his arc, gets it through the Nicholson, has to sort of stop and prop, and Bruton just improvised that one there and throws it away. Gets it through. It's Neal on the court now as well. And now Dufelmeyer, a missed opportunity at the other end, and the skipper steps up for the Raiders.
Yeah, and credit to Matt Nunn. That was a layup if Matt Nunn didn't just pinch low so quickly to pick off that pass.
Ball hung in the air for a bit there. Byrne, and we are seeing the emergence of Lucas Byrne as well. That's now 13 for him so far this afternoon.
Yeah, this has been his best game at this level, the rookie.
Nunn step back. And now he's going to get it back there. And so the overcommitment on defense leaves Brody Nunn. And he gives a little boom in front of the face of Nicholson. Boom goes the dynamite. Hines tries to go through. Cleaning up the mess, not quite Byrne. And Neal and Dufelmeyer raffle it amongst themselves. Dufelmeyer plays the senior rank. Gets it back in rapid succession. And then will pop up outside the paint. Williamson, too big, too strong, too tall. 2 points.
Yep, foul on Hines. It's caught the arm on the rebound attempt, and credit to Williamson, felt the contact, just threw it back up.
And it looks like we're going to see Yak Newham come back into the game, which will be a pivotal moment, sitting on the 4 personal fouls. Nicholson will take a breather, as did Brooklyn Bruton. Jaden Campbell also rejoining the fray here.
And if Ballarat to get back into this one, they're going to need Jaden Campbell to step up. Just 9 points so far. He's been well held by Knox. He hasn't had a lot of open opportunities. But he's going to need to create something as the leading scorer on the team.
Campbell, there you go, right on cue. You asked.
Sometimes it works out.
He delivered there on that occasion. Brings it back. 9-point lead. Williamson wants to readjust the score. Doesn't get there. Byrne keeps it in. Well done. Campbell pushes the pace. Back. Spin. Campbell. There's back all by himself. Can't get it back there. That leaves Hines on the other side open. And he's fouled on the shot.
Foul.
And
4 on Williamson as well.
yes, so big moment there. 3 shots at the line. 4 fouls on the paddle of truth for Kobe Williamson. He is going to take a seat on the bench for that one.
Oh, looks like Duffelmeyer's coming out.
No, he's not. No, so this is why we aren't coaches. We just play him on television. And you're absolutely right. So Duffelmeyer with a break.
Having said that, Slater's about to check in, so we may well see Williamson take a seat.
First one is good for Will Hines.
That's about as exasperated as you'll see Kobe Williamson look too. And to say he looks mildly exasperated would be an overstatement.
Slater keen to go on there. Williamson not so keen to go off, but understands the fate that awaits him. Going to have to put pause to that for the moment. As Williamson gets a rebound out of all of the commotion, so you get to stay on for the moment.
The danger now, though, is that he's on the floor with 4 fouls. If he picks up a 5th,
they may attack him if they get the opportunity here offensively, but they've just got a defensive set to work through Ballarat. Williamson into Sewell. Nguyen not wanting to commit the foul, just uses his length. Williamson for 3. He turns around his fortunes there from 4 fouls to 3 points. Kobe Williamson changes the course of the game on that one.
Back to 10 points.
As the shot clock. I don't know if it's the weather, it's just got a bit frozen. Maybe we need to give it some mittens, but it's just not wanting to work today. It's got a case of Monday-itis on a Sunday afternoon. So they're going to adjust that. I think they're going to take 7 off it.
Coach Ray Warner saying, I'm sure there's 9 minutes, 28 seconds left on that clock.
Oh, it's not just his on-court stuff. That's why Ray Warner is a legend of Aussie basketball.
Hey, worth a shot. Worth a shot.
If you don't have a ticket in the raffle, you can't win.
Absolutely not.
Hines makes a decision mid-air. Byrne with the fake. Slater almost gives away the foul on the drive-by. Doesn't. And Lucas Byrne, another basket.
I've been really impressed with his decision-making. I mean, this is a kid. This guy's a baby at this level, and his decision-making has been superb today.
Back reads that well, although he has to overcommit to try and win that. And just losing his placement of his feet there is Jarvis Neal.
And none did well to save it, but ends up in the same result.
A little bit of a question as to whether that was in time, but no. So it was ruled that it wasn't in time there. The referee says that Jarvis Neal has to go back on the court. Duffelmeyer will have to wait. So Byrne had got that in time there. Is a fashion statement there from Will Hines. A quick little crop top action while he was waiting. It is a unique quarter going on right now, it's got to be said. Byrne to Hines. He misses that one there. Good defensive contest. Byrne again rips it away. Campbell for 3. Yes! Back to 5 points here at Selkirk Stadium.
Again, it's Lucas Byrne putting in the effort, making good decisions once he gets his hands on the ball.
Slater. Will they try and open the paint up for him? No. Hands it off to White. Sewell.
We haven't seen much of White in the last few minutes. Oh, great pass.
Jarvis Neal says, you're going to keep me on the court. I'm going to make you pay.
That's a superb dish from Brody Nunn.
Absolutely. Nunn has had some good moments there where he's led his team well. Hines has to rethink the strategy as Byrne uses his agility to get past Slater, but not to get past Neal. Having quite a minute there. They might want to rethink that substitution. And there's going to be a foul on the floor. A very nice, wily attempt there from White, but not going to get his way. Jarvis Neal finally takes a seat on the bench after having an influence, and Tad Duffelmeyer will get back onto the court, albeit starting from the outside to inbound the ball. Nunn. Oh, well done. He just gets underneath the defense, works the baseline.
Yeah, he measured that perfectly. One inch less of ground that he makes, and he doesn't get that finish.
And we finally seen a ball that was even out of reach for Yak Nguyen. Couldn't quite reel that in. which was a bit of a shame because he had nothing but air and opportunity between him and the basket.
Will Hines straight up and laid a little skin, said, yeah, that was my error.
Oh, geez, I think Slater might have just laid the hip and shoulder on his own teammate. Wyatt uses strength, and again, he wants to just demonstrate he is aware of how growth charts work.
He's flexing over Hines as well. And what are the taunting rules with NBL1?
I don't know, but I think it's, he'd be drawing very close to that line, but we like a little bit of character in our players, but there might come a point where it goes over the line. We'll find out with 4.5 minutes remaining in the final quarter. If swagger, they call it. And there's White. Now from long range. And that shot was too short, but Sewell.
Brilliant from Slater.
Yes. Sewell is the beneficiary of Slater keeping that play alive.
Everyone had turned around except for Slater then. He was the one player awake to that ball.
Yep, one player was playing the whistle. There's Campbell, and he does manage to draw that. It's kind of like a Mr. Squiggle play. It didn't look like it was going to be much, but he ended up drawing a masterpiece.
We call it the Miss Jane play.
Miss Jane. Well, the scoreboard at the moment is the wrong way. They're going to want to turn it around here. Ballarat, 13 points is a game-high margin. Campbell makes the first. That's 15 for him. A little bit of a quieter afternoon for him. Last night, of course, got the 33, coming off a run of 21, 24, and 33 in the final of the last 3 games, I should say.
We've just had the officials give a little bit of a quiet cease and desist to White, Dufelmeyer, and Hines.
So it is getting very willing there. 12 points the margin here. Williamson back on as well there. Nunn finds Slater, who encroaches on the paint there, gets a bit of contact, and he makes the basket as well.
Yeah, not a lot of contact, but there was just enough for the call to be warranted. Second on Lucas Byrne, but strong finish again. As soon as he gets to that left hand, Slater's pretty dangerous.
Probably one of those frustrating fouls as well, enough to get the foul call, but not enough to affect the shot.
Exactly.
Strong through the upper body, though, it has to be said, for Brandon Slater. Makes the free throw. Now pushes that lead out to 15. It's moving time here for Ballarat if they are going to get back into this one. Knox, again, have been able to parry it away. This is the territory they hadn't been into so far, but Hines reels it back ever so slightly.
Good use of the glass. It's a dying art, the use of the backboard.
Would say the Clock is the official tag team partner here as well of the Raiders. And also being allowed that much space will help. But White didn't help himself. Feegit in unison there with Hines. Campbell, the C's open up for him, uses that step and a classy left-handed finish there. A couple of strong buckets in a row there for Ballarat.
Again, 5 3-point shooters on the floor. No backline help for Knox.
They'll look to exploit that for sure. They try to chip away. Williamson now. Dufelmeyer. Spin cycle. And then the foul. 2 shots there. In the shooting motion, it is adjudged. Not only does that send Dufelmeyer to the line now, just having a look here, that will take Ballarat to the limit, which will limit their defensive options as well.
Yeah, when you're playing small, you need to scramble, you need to be scrappy, you need to get your hands in on dribbles, in on passing lanes, and if you're at the limit with your foul count as a team, that does make you perhaps a little bit more circumspect in doing that.
He goes 2-2. Hines, circumspect, trying to find the right option. Feegit almost had an opportunity there, but this Perunwood defense is set. That opens it up, but it's ripped away on the way through. And Hines rips it right back. It's a tug-of-war game happening on the hardwood as Slater just throws a little shove in there for good measure.
Yeah, Hines just sat on that one, and Hines wasn't happy with the push from Slater, but Slater just apologised to him. The two of them shook hands and called it a day.
It's an interesting decision-making process there on defence there, it has to be said. Hines over the top, back, had to wait for it though, but patience is a virtue. He gets the reverse.
Yeah, back felt where his opponent was, just went where he wasn't.
Slater, those smart and quick hands, but back thought he had some quick hands, and it's a goaltend that's been called.
So a touch on the backboard there, perhaps?
Perhaps there. He was about to sort of argue the fact about the foul, and then when he realised it was the goaltend, he reined that argument back in. Feigit through the middle and blocked away by Slater. Claims spotters right here in Selkirk Stadium, and then playing party pooper as the Ballarat defence, as it looked like there was an open alley-oop on the wanting there. Feigit into back underneath the hoop. It goes back and forth there. And that is an Amy timeout here with 11 points to margin and just under 90 seconds to play.
Well, I tell you what, we could have had the fabled highlight at either end there, but Will Hines got up to rob what was probably a big alley-oop dunk after Slater's massive block on Feigit. Ballarat, to their credit, kept their composure, got the steal, went back the other end and got themselves a layup right under the bucket to bowl back, who is up to 20, which I feel would be certainly a season high. I dare say it's probably as high as a minor in his, was he third year, fourth year now with Ballarat? So he's played a very good game stepping into the starting lineup.
He sure has. It has had to be a bit of a game by committee here, and there has been some even contributions from the Ballarat players. You look at Jaden Campbell's got his 17, which is a little bit unders for him, but Will Hines 19 points, and he's also been the facilitator, stepping up in that dent role, it has to be said, 11 assists.
And 15 and 7 with two assists, 2 steals for Lucas Bird. He's been brilliant. But Kobe Williamson, we spoke about the unassuming nature of him as a player, but it's his stat line has almost snuck up on us a little bit. I'll bury the lead here, 4 assists, which is really good for a big. It's 17 points and 19 boards.
Yep, he has made the very most of being in the right position at the right time, and with 90 seconds left, he's just going to stay on the court. He's been sitting on 4 fouls for quite some time, but hasn't impeded. And Knox have the great game in their grasp. To take something crazy, but we have seen crazy in the NBL1. They're not going to be in a rush. Dufelmeyer looking for the right option there, and White through contact is
How did that go in?
Somehow manages to shimmy his way mid-air, get the ball to drop, and also take the trip to the foul line, which also gets him up to his 30-piece for the game.
I'm still not sure how that managed to go in. The hang time was superb.
Makes a free throw as well. He makes time stand still when he's in the air, says Trezarian White.
And made that those awesome dreads, which I'm not sure which, it's either Millie or Vanilli, but they flew out as he jumped up for that alley-oop.
Hines appeals that it comes off the Knox player last. The decision is overturned there by the referee with a better vantage point. So Ballarat maintain possession. Hines backed into a corner there. The pass across to Feigit for his first bucket of the game. No. And Williamson, that will be rebound number 20 there. Probably not the most dominant of his rebounds, but he'll take it.
Set him up for a 3 now. Let's get into 2020.
But there he is, outside the arc. Feigit was pretty much in his jersey, gets it to White, and White is fouled again as he goes so quickly from the ground floor to the top floor, it's hard not to foul him when you're reacting.
Well, it's also, I feel like a broken record here, but Bolback, who can defend up the positional spectrum, he's just, as much as he can leap, so can White. And when your starting point is at 5 or 6 inches, White's supposed probably about 3 to 4 inches above yours, it doesn't matter how high you can leap. If the other guy can leap with you, you're still not going to get up to the ball and you're going to commit fouls.
There's been a great performance in the last quarter by the Raiders, not showing any ill effects from the overtime game last night. They have been able to finish it off fit and strong and taken themselves with another win to move up the ladder. Williamson with pressure with another rebound as well. So Knox firmly entrenching themselves in the championship conversation with their 10th victory today. And another bucket there for Brody Nunn. This now not letting Sleeping Dogs lie. Dufelmeyer wrestled for that one there. Although 19 points up, you could have forgiven him for not putting in that intensity and that hustle. But that is the attitude that Knox are showing here today now.
Yeah, all three players worked hard to try and keep possession there. The arrow gives the ball back to the Miners.
Byrne, great game for the youngster. His best probably in Miners colours. That one misses. Hines, and Byrne, there he is. Goes up the middle underneath Williamson. Amongst the chaos, a star is Byrne in this game. The clock just stopped for a moment there. Now it runs out. It's going to be a 17-point victory to the Knox Raiders. A really clinical performance, pushed away at the right time. Ballarat fought manfully, but at the end of the day, they were outsized and outstrengthed and really out-talented really on this occasion by a very competitive and dangerous Knox side.
Yeah, look, this is a game that is